Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz. Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and I'm here with the chipper.
Am I chipper? I don't feel chipper.
Well, you are.
Oh, okay.
I'm manifesting that for
I must
you.
be giving off a chipper vibe or something this morning.
It's the Fiber One coffee cake. LeeAnn Day Douglas. And we are going to talk about Shout, the Mod musical.
It was a mod musical.
It was mod. It was 60s. So what does mod mean?
I think it means modern.
For like, which I think is fun because it's like modern but is retro at the same time.
Right. Well, it was it was set in 1960s England. And so they were using all of the 1960s slang that I guess was from England. And mod was one of the words they were using. So the mod girl was modern 60s girl.
Yeah, and I guess because the kind of whatever.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did you not silence? We need to have a curtain
I did.
speech.
I put it on Do Not Disturb.
LeeAnn.
Look, it's on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, were you timing for how late I was going to be today?
Yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
That was the alarm of, that was like the time of our friendship could no longer continue.
Yes, that was the time our friendship expired, when he was late for like how many podcasts have we had? This is episode 13, so this will be the 13th time that he's been late for recording, basically.
Fashionably late.
Well, everyone knows he's an on-timer, and I am a early bird, so
yes,
we're trying to get to accommodate each other a little bit.
Although you have had a great effect on me in terms of theater going.
Well, I think it's the guilt factor, right? I mean, you feel like you need to show up so that you don't leave me hanging.
I know, I can't leave you hanging.
Yeah, and of course, I buy you dinner, so when I buy you dinner, of course you get there on time.
Of course. See,
so
that's when food is involved. I am totally there. That's the promise of food. If we're like, there are waffles this morning, I will be early.
Oh, see, I'm gonna have to provide breakfast.
I think that's the next step.
Yeah.
This is all a long manipulation I'm trying to play to get free waffles. No, really, my biggest problem is I feel like I am superhuman and can bend the space-time continuum and do everything I could ever want to do. So this morning, I did get to the gym, and I took Bougie to his vet appointment to get all his shots.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and then it was 10:15, and then it was 10:30. So yes, but you're here now, so we're good.
Yes.
So back to the subject at hand.
The mod musical.
I think mod means modern.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of fits. Actually, I'm having an aha moment right now because it does really fit kind of the premise of kind of the women in their 5 characters in the show, and they're writing for advice to this column in their favorite magazine, Shout. And the advice, they're kind of dealing with very serious issues, from sexuality to a cheating husband to even abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the advice is very old school. It's very like
very 1950s.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you it's probably your fault, or you picked a bad husband, or if you
change your hairdo,
right, you could use a pedicure, and that will solve all of your problems.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as physical pleasure for a woman. You have to, just go buy a flannel nightie or
Yeah, it
pajamas.
was ridiculous.
But then they kind of all break free from it and shut her down,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
love. And it's all told through the music of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually thought that was kind of a nice twist because when you see these kind of retrospective musicals with, music from your favorite decade, it's usually just very fun. Like it's just, you know, a look back of the greatest hits of that time.
Right.
It's all the fashion and the colors and all that. And there's really usually no story or kind of point they're trying to make. It's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel good entertainment. And uh, I was expecting that. And
Mm-hmm.
it was that. Like I feel like it did a great job of presenting all of, the hits and even some kind of B-sides, like deep cuts that I never
Right.
heard before that I was like, "Oh, I'm going to like have to check that song out."
Yeah.
Um like there was one that was just like it was like a you can do it. There's nothing you can't do that I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to add that to my workout playlist." But this one actually did try to have a message and tried to draw a connection to what women were going through in the 1960s to now.
Yeah, and there was a lot of humor. I mean, they added a lot of humor to it.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
It surprised me. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. It was a quirky little musical.
Mhm.
I mean, I was just thinking the whole time, this is a little weird, but I like it.
Yeah. Well, it's very
They talked
quick.
about it was very quick and the humor just surprised you.
Mhm.
So they would just say things that I wouldn't expect and it would make me laugh. There was this one scene when they all like were trying out marijuana for the first time and it was hilarious.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, it was really, really funny. And then there was another scene where it was like a commercial for birth control.
Yes.
And the woman was play acting all the possible side effects.
Yes.
And it was just a lot of physical comedy, and it
Mhm.
was hilarious. She was hilarious. I really, really liked it. So
I have to give props to the 5 actors. They were incredible.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. I mean, first of all, you're given their character names are colors. It's like red girl, orange girl, green girl, blue girl, yellow girl, and they don't have a lot to work with. So to actually define, I feel like each one was very defined and unique, and a lot of that had to come from the director and the actors themselves, because I read the script. So I thought that was really amazing. And I mean, they all have their own kind of subtle journey
Mm-hmm.
throughout the show, but they all, I mean, their voices, they're amazing dancers. I mean, how great was it to see Heather Kruger again on
Okay,
stage?
so this was another foray into Straz produced plays or
Yes.
musicals. The first one was
A Tuna Christmas.
A Tuna Christmas. Um, so this one is like I guess A Tuna Christmas was not a musical.
No,
It was a comedy.
it was a comedy.
Right. So this was a musical, and I've been here at the Straz Center for almost 20 years. So
What?
I was here when we were producing back then,
Mm-hmm.
and Heather Kruger was a mainstay in our Straz produced shows.
Of course.
And she's a showstopper. I mean, she's got this voice that will not stop and this presence about her that is just when she walks on stage, I'm like, yes, Heather Kruger is on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And she did stop the show a couple of times.
Shout. I mean, the actual number shout.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually, because I was talking to a few audience members after the show, and multiple people, unrelated, came up to me and were like, if they did a encore of Shout, like everyone would have been up on their feet.
Yeah.
That like she owned that
She
song.
did.
I mean, she owned every like Boots Are Made for Walking. She got a lot of great ones, but
Mm-hmm.
that song in particular, she like that brought that house down.
It did. Everybody was clapping along. It was fun. She can work a crowd. She
Mhm.
really can. So it was really fun for me to see her on stage because I really, really like her. I
And so many people
remember
do. She has such a, Straz following.
she does, and I mean when she was our she was in Little Shop of Horrors when we did it eons ago. So she was Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors with Jonathan Harrison. Yes,
Oh, he was Seymour?
he was Seymour, and
Oh.
so it was really good. And so I'm really excited that we're doing Little Shop again late in the summer. I want to see how that turns
I'm
out.
so excited for Little Shop. I feel
Yeah.
like Little Shop is having this kind of renaissance because it's being produced a lot more by major theaters across the globe. Really, they just had a really acclaimed London revival. LA had a really great revival that got tons of attention because that performer from Pose was actually Audrey,
Mm.
and was incredible. They performed on one of the late night shows, and like blue. I mean, you can hear them perform. They sing in Pose, and it's like their voices amazing. But the show itself has been revived quite a bit. And I think they're making a remake of the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we're capturing this zeitgeist.
Yes,
It's one of my
absolutely.
favorites. It's such a great show. The music is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's, horror is my favorite. So anytime we
Mm-hmm.
can throw in a little bit of horror and comedy,
Oh
and
yeah.
musical
And
theater.
I'll do almost any horror, like Little Shop of Horrors, Rocky Horror. Put a horror up there. I'm just hilarious. So
I mean, all they need to do is put a waffle buffet in that theater.
there you
and
go.
It is heaven.
So yeah, so it was great to see Heather on stage and Allison Burns direct.
It was her professional directorial debut. How amazing is that?
And she had been in a lot of center produced
Yeah.
shows. So I've seen her on stage before, and she's really fun to see on stage as well. But this was behind the scenes, and she did a great job.
Oh, I mean, first of all, it is no small feat to direct and choreograph. I mean, those are two major undertakings, especially for a show like this, where pretty much it's dancing nonstop. I mean,
Right.
it's dancing with like little interludes for the women to catch their breath.
Right, right.
And even just the physical comedy that you were mentioning earlier, that all comes from the director collaborating with the actor. And I really feel like she did such a wonderful job at elevating the material because, I mean, it could have been a passable production, and it's definitely super fun, but she really elevated it into something fun, entertaining, splashy, in constant movement, funny, and also with a lot of heart and depth to it. A surprising amount of depth. I thought, it was great to see the moments of, I saw a lot of kind of mother daughters in the audience and kind of different generations, and it was cool to see like the younger girls laughing at some of the kind of old school advice. Like that was really something that,
Yes,
and
it
then
sure
kind of
was.
I was talking to a mother and daughter after the show, and like the mother was like, "Yeah, that was real. That's what people were telling
Yep,
women."
absolutely.
And I thought that was such a great way to kind of, I would love to see more mothers and daughters come to see this show to like have that moment of like,
That reality check.
yeah, that respect of like, wow, you actually, you can kind of see the beginnings of how we got to today. But it did make me pine for. Have you been to London?
I have not.
What?
I've never been out of the country except for Canada.
Well, we need to take this podcast
I
on the
just got my
road.
passport.
Oh my God, what you missed in
yeah.
London.
I know
We're
what we
putting
missed
this in
in
the
London.
2021
Let's see
budget.
if we can get it in the budget. Yes, yes.
I mean, I was lucky enough to study abroad in London for a year. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And it's just the coolest city in the entire world. I mean, I can't speak to 1960s London, but 2010s London was off the chain. So much great theater. It's all roads just lead there. I would love to find a way just to like build a Straz Center satellite location.
We'll see if we can figure that out.
So, what were there any songs that you like? Are you a big 60s music fan?
Well, no. I mean, it's before my time.
Right, of course.
So I wasn't familiar with a lot of songs that they sang last night. I was familiar with they did Coldfinger, which was a parody of Goldfinger. And so they did this whole James Bond thing that was hilarious.
That started out of turning the word vagina into the James Bond theme.
That's right, which was really really fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed that number. I've heard Downtown before. It's never been one of my favorites.
What?
I know. It's never been one of my favorites.
I literally sing that every single time I come
to work.
I'm like, when you're alone and life is making you.
We are downtown.
I have my like Mary Tyler Moore moment. I throw my hat in the air every day right before entering the building.
Yeah, and I've always loved These Boots Were Made for Walking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's always been one of my favorites. And
every time you wear boots.
They had on the go-go boots when they did the number. And so, and of course, Heather sang it. And so it was just all the way everything I wanted out of that number.
Listeners, you can't tell because this is a audio medium, but LeeAnn, Edzer, and I are all wearing vinyl go-go boots.
No, we're not. But you can imagine that we
Only
are.
Edzer is.
Only Edzer, that's right. We've got Edzer and go-go boots. They're red and shiny. So, and of course, Shout, which we already talked about. I really love Shout.
You know you make me wanna.
I'm not going to do it. I know,
Well,
sorry.
fill in the blanks, listeners.
Yes. So no, I mean, my decade, obviously, the songs of my childhood are the 70s.
Oh, the sequel.
Yeah. So yeah, I really I didn't like 80s music very much.
All right, and the podcast.
I know, I'm sorry, and my husband loves 80s music and I just hate it. But I love 90s because that's when I was in college.
Okay, all right.
So I kind of skipped a decade there.
Wow. I'm gonna. It is now my personal mission to make you like 80s music.
That's never gonna happen.
I don't know.
It won't happen.
I
Just don't even try.
I mean, I've convinced people of harder things.
Are you into 70s music at all?
I do like 70s.
Okay, because I love disco.
I love disco.
Disco is my favorite, my very favorite. But I
Well-
also love like the Carpenters.
My mom
sister
loves
and
the
I-
Carpenters,
right?
yeah.
I know. Well, I told you I could almost be your mom
No, you
age-wise.
couldn't.
But my sister and I used to sing the Carpenters songs a lot because
what's their famous song? Isn't it Monday?
Oh.
Rainy days and Mondays.
Mondays always get you down. There's a bunch of them. And actually, if you listen to them back to back, you might think that Karen Carpenter, because she wrote most of them, or her brother, had like some emotional issues
Yeah.
because she'd have like Rainy Days and Mondays always get you down. And then the next song would be I'm on top of the world. And so she went back and forth really quick.
Yeah.
With her songs, but a lot of them are really sad. Like now that I've listened to them as an adult, I'm like, wow, this is really, really sad. But the harmony is what I liked.
Yeah.
So it was her and her brother, and they could sing harmony together. So me and my sister would sing harmony together. And I remember this one time we took over the answering machine. So this is back when answering machines were new.
Ooh, I loved answering machines.
And you had to record your outgoing message for your answering machine. And so we like practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and sang a Carpenter's tune on our answering
Oh.
machine message as a kid. And
I love that.
it was called Intermission, I think, or Interlude or something. And they're basically saying, we'll be back. And they do this crazy harmony. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be right back after we go to the bathroom. And we just thought it was hilarious because, of course, we're kids. So we recorded that on the answering machine and then surprised my mom with it.
That's so cute.
So yeah, I love the Carpenters, or at least I did as a kid.
Mhm.
I really don't listen to them much anymore. But yeah, disco.
Loved it.
is
Okay.
mine,
I think I
yeah.
found the gateway into getting you into 80s.
Not gonna
Because
happen.
if you like disco, I mean, so like Grace Jones.
Mm,
She does a lot of disco, but it's in the 80s. What about Madonna?
okay, I like Madonna.
Okay. Phew.
Okay, yeah.
Our friendship has been saved.
Madonna is not an issue. I'm thinking more like,
Like new wave kind of stuff, or like
I don't even, because I don't listen to it because I don't like it. So I can't give you the names of the bands that I don't like.
okay.
But there are a bunch.
Okay. I think I could get okay.
So it's not all 80s music.
This is going to be a journey.
Okay.
We're going to
We'll
be
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
tune back in to see in a year if LeeAnn likes 80s music anymore.
So you said that, 70s could be the sequel. Is there a sequel to Shout?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. But,
But we could write one.
we could. I mean,
You could do
jukebox
70s,
musicals are
I'll
the
do
thing.
80s.
Yeah. So what's your favorite jukebox musical?
So I was thinking this, it's really interesting because there's all different types of jukebox musicals. And we actually even have a few coming up at the Straz.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jersey Boys next month, which is next week. And Summer, the musical.
Donna Summer musical, which we already talked about and sang about.
So ready for.
Yes.
And well, those two are kind of similar because they use the music of the act to tell kind of the origin story.
Right.
But others are like Shout that
Mamma
are just
Mia.
The Mamma Mia takes the music of a act and takes a whole new story, which I prefer. I like the ones that choose like I'm gonna just use this music, create a whole new story.
Right.
I feel like it's easier for them to kind of come up with a reason for incorporating the music. You know. Actually, I remember I saw Head Over Heels. It was the Go-Go's musical. Did I talk about I think I talked about this before. I just loved it so much. Goopy Paltrow produced it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took the tack of doing a whole new story. And I like that because it's a little more surprising. But then on the other hand, I also love things like Summer because I didn't really know much about Donna Summer.
Right.
So I thought, especially for acts like that, you're like, okay, like I didn't know this about this person, and you're also getting to experience all of their amazing music.
Right.
So I actually am a fan. I know some people knock them because,
I love them. I love them. And this is why. Because I go to the theater for an escape. I just want to escape. And so it doesn't even have to be like, it can be the thinnest storyline you can put together. And I will still just love it. If the music is good, I feel like dancing, feel like clapping, and I'm entertained, then I'm golden. So when I saw Mamma Mia, I know a lot of people knock it, but I love that show. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. And Jersey Boys is another one. I love Jersey Boys. I've seen it multiple times.
We're so ready for Jersey Boys.
We
need to have
ready.
the ultimate Jersey. I'm going to treat you to the ultimate Jersey experience. I have to figure out what that is. But get ready.
Okay.
But, I think a lot of people, with taste, it's just like people, you can like more than one type of thing. Like you can enjoy and love Mamma Mia and also love To Kill a Mockingbird
or
Doubt,
which we're going
to see too. Like I think I'm more of a person of like, what was the goal of this production and did they achieve it? I think oftentimes, the worst thing anyone can do or any show can do is be boring.
Right.
Sometimes like the biggest mess of a show I'm going to love because it kept me entertained.
Right.
But I try to judge a show based on like, what was their goal? What were they trying to do? And did they achieve it? Not every show is trying to be groundbreaking and kind of reinvent your whole perspective on something.
Right.
Or some are just trying to make you kind of reconnect to some whimsy or some nostalgia, and that's totally okay too. I think everything kind of has its purpose and its place.
Yeah.
So I give Shout 5 out of 5 go-go boots.
Okay.
There'd be one three-legged or
one
one-legged person.
Yes. So I'm going to give it 5 pair.
Oh, 5 pair. Oh.
Of go-go boots.
Very clever.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Absolutely. I like it.
There could be, for all those 3-legged performers out there, I support you.
There's the extra boot. You just have to make sure that you give them the right one or the left one.
Right.
So, which boot do you need? So you need to find another 3-legged performer that needs the opposite boot. And then you get 3 pair of boots, then between you should be good.
I am fighting for you.
So
All
next
right.
time we're going to see doubt.
I have doubts.
Yes, I have
It's gonna
doubts.
be real. What did we? Oh, we were gonna have our Catholic guilt dinner.
Oh, I have no idea what that is. So I'll have to figure that out.
I was raised Irish Catholic.
Okay, I was
so-
not. I was Lutheran, and my sister always says Lutherans are like it's all the smells and bells, but none of the guilt.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have tons and tons of guilt. But I mean, it was my family's very progressive. But I did go to I didn't go to Catholic. I went to Catholic high school, but I had to go to CCD, like catechism classes in middle school.
Right.
And I actually had to have like one-on-one personal classes with the head nun, Sister Anne, because I got in a lot of trouble. So a little tease for what we're going to be talking about next time.
There you go.
What happened in those classes?
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know how
Yes.
many times
Why
your
did Zach
knuckles
get
got smacked
kicked
with a
out?
ruler. So I think that's a
No,
different show.
I was running that school.
Yeah, that's a different show completely. Late night catechism. So well, this one's doubt. Totally different.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, till next time, keep it mod, keep it
Keep it musical.
swinging.
Yeah.
Take care. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz.